Kitchen with Maria, who is about to prepare a beautiful sweet potato and goat cheese frittata with a sage drizzle. Yummy! Welcome, Maria. This is so exciting. As you can see, our entire family is at the counter and ready to have this.
I haven't waited. I should.
You could have this for breakfast, for lunch, for brunch, for dinner.
You could have it any time of the day, and Italians have frittatas all day long. That's not, we do not just leave it for breakfast. And I love having eggs and breakfast for dinner. So this is really an all day long frittata. You can have it at any meal. And we have our favorite flavors of fall. Hey! We have our favorite fall flavors in there, like sweet potato.
And I know that JJ loves sweet potatoes, doesn't he?
Yeah, so you know,
JJ.
he has 2 teeth now. So he's eating his sweet potatoes. I boil them up for him, but it's one of the things we always have around in our house. And so when I'm buying them, I thought, you can see him right there. Oh, the buddy. And so this is, like I said, when I have things for him and I buy a lot of them, I actually need to use them. And so I thought it'd be great to make a fall frittata that is more of the savory instead of just the sweet.
And some sweet potatoes are so good for you, by the way. Okay, so how do we prepare our sweet potatoes first?
Okay, so as you can see, I have them on a baking sheet lined with just some parchment, or you could use a foil too, and cut them into just about like a ½ of an inch cubes, just like this. And I'm going to add some olive oil on here because we need, actually, Deb, can you do a little bit of that?
Sure, I'll do that while you do the rest.
So I love using white pepper. The white pepper, I know everybody says that it's very similar in flavor to a black pepper. I happen to think that they are different, and I think it has a nice earthiness to it that is really great with the sweet potatoes. I also have another flavor of the fall is the rosemary. Thank you, Deb. I like using fresh, but if you have dried, you can use dried. And some cumin. Now, cumin, I love it with the sweet potatoes because it's very savory, has a nice warmth to it that you find in like tacos and things like that, and a lot of times in breakfast potatoes.
Super good for you, too.
And it's
very good for you.
Yeah, that I did not do that one on purpose. That I just did for the flavor. But it's really nice with the sweet potatoes. So then you just mix it all up like that. Okay. Spread it out so it's in a nice even layer, and you want to put it in the oven at about 425 until they're nice and toasted up.
For how long?
You know, it takes honestly like about maybe 20 minutes in the oven.
So small.
Until they start kind of getting. It's okay if they crisp up.
I like them when they're crispy.
I do too. I like when they have a nice crunch.
Yeah, like that one right there.
Yes, like that.
That's the best one.
And then you have that.
Okay, so we'll put our potatoes aside. Now we start mixing up our eggs. So how many eggs do you usually use?
For this one specifically, I'm using a 10-inch skillet. So I have 7 eggs here. It's going to depend. If you buy extra large eggs, you might only need 6. So just kind of see, you know, but
and also how many people you're serving, really, right?
Yeah, so we have our eggs here, and I add in half and half. It's about a quarter cup of half and half. And what that does, I know it's very rich, so it adds a nice richness to it, but it also, in a weird way, lightens it up almost like a quiche does. And
if you just use regular milk, does it like ruin it? Like go out and get the half and half for it? Or?
I recommend half and half because I really think it does justice to the whole thing.
You're not killing it if you just have.
No, you can add like a whole milk. I wouldn't do a skim. If you're going to do skim,
go to the store then. All right.
So go to the store.
If you're going to add skim, you might as well add water.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's true. That'll lighten it up too. It'll make it fluffy.
Exactly.
It does, but this makes it richer and more.
Nice and rich, exactly.
And you feel full when you eat one piece. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so I like to whisk my eggs up a lot because I feel like that it lightens it when you put it into the actual dish. It makes the whole thing lighter and airier.
So now over here you have sauteing. You put in some kale, some garlic, and some shallots.
Yes, so I have, like you just said, so I do the shallots first, and then I add in my kale. I chop it up and add it in, and after that is when I'll add
kale takes some time.
Kale will take some time, and just also make sure to take the rib out. You know it has that like fibrous rib, so I always take that out, and then chop it up and just add it in there.
And the garlic goes last because you don't want to burn it.
Garlic goes last, so about only 30 seconds until it's really fragrant, and I like to add some red pepper flakes because I like it spicy.
But if you're feeding the kiddos,
but if you're feeding the not for the this one's not for JJ. This one is for us. He's eating the ones that I boil.
And the garlic is light. It's not too
light,
heavy.
and you could add more if you really wanted a really great garlic flavor to it. Oh, I can see you hated it.
No.
Yeah, Ken didn't like it either. Oh my gosh, what kind of kale do you like to use?
I like using the dino kale because it just it's a little bit flatter. I like the flavor of it. Curly kale, you definitely could do it. find that it just isn't, I don't know.
It's difficult.
It's difficult.
Curly kale
It just
can
doesn't
be
cook as nicely. I think that's the best way to
could
put
be
it.
very fibrous if you're not just.
I see what you're saying.
Finicky.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. I don't think it has as
Let
good
me
of
add
a.
my sweet potatoes. I'm like,
put the
we're
sweet
missing
potatoes in.
something. Okay, so I add my sweet potatoes. So all of these guys go in like this. And
It's also nice to have something lining the.
right there.
Oh yeah, exactly. So mix it all up and just, if you want, just all around. Okay. And after you pour the eggs, don't mix it. You can kind of like press it around, but you don't want to mix it. Otherwise, you just have a scramble, which is what you don't want. So like I said, you can kind of push here, just around, leave it.
And then you just leave it.
Turn the heat
pop
off.
that in the oven for how long?
So we will put it in the oven. Here, we'll add our goat cheese.
And now, why do you add this towards the end there like that?
You want it to bake in, but you don't want it to cook onto the skillet, because otherwise, if you cook it onto the skillet, it's going to stick and it's going to burn.
Okay.
But to answer your question, Deb, this is that you want to turn your oven down to 400 degrees and just bake it for about 15 minutes.
Okay, so I've got this in. Now, Maria, also, we're running out of time here, but I want to make sure we get this whole recipe out. You made this beautiful sage pesto.
Yes.
This pesto drizzle, how did you make this?
Drizzle. So this it's almost like a pesto, like you said. So it's sage and it's basil, and you just put it in a food processor with olive oil, a little red wine vinegar, and that's really it.
Yeah, that is amazing.
Drizzle.
Oh. Maria,
best thing you ever made.
Maria.
Best thing ever.
Very good. You guys can divvy that, have a little taste. You can find the recipe and many more in our Fall Recipes and DIYs book. That's, of course, at hallmarkchannel.com. Go ahead and download it there. I know you guys are going to take a bite.
Oh, yeah.
Coming up next, two-time Grammy winners for King and Country are treating us to a special performance off their new album. You will not want to miss this, everybody. That album is called Burn the Ships. You got to check it out. Come on back.
Oh, my gosh.